hard work for those who are ready to start putting in the hard work and doing what it takes to show up and be present and really start pursuing what many people may have defined for us as impossible. I don't know what it is that God is doing, but He's really working powerfully in my life right now. I was even up at midnight just with my hands lifted in prayer to Him. And He's just really put it in my spirit that nationwide, we all are going to be gathered together nationwide. We're going to start achieving and working on things that we once thought was impossible in our lives. So I'm very happy to officially make the announcement today, only by God's grace. I've completely relaunched my entire mentorship program, the entire necessary retreat. When I say relaunch, I'll explain that in a minute. But many of you are going to be surprised to know that it's only by the grace of God that I've made some major changes so that people can get back in again at the introductory rates. And for those of you who have recently joined and you didn't get in at the introductory rates, you don't have anything to worry about because you're going to be getting an email from us today explaining to you how we're going to handle that situation. But God is really, really, really moving in my heart. It's time for people to start walking in what they see as impossible. So I just want to give you all a heads up. I know yesterday when I was live, I was coming at you guys really strong because I felt every word in my spirit, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And it's not going to be easy because, as you all know, whenever someone says, hello, Z, I just joined yesterday. Welcome, baby. Welcome. You joined at the perfect time because we're literally rebooting and relaunching the entire program. So the reason I say it's not going to be easy is because I'm really, really, really serious about making sure we are all walking through this journey together. So whether you're in there for personal development or entrepreneur development, we already started last week with setting some goals that we think is impossible. We're going to have that discussion again, but get this, we're actually walking through it together this time. I'm literally walking through the process with everyone together. So all of the members that's already been a part of the program for a while, who are just now coming back into the program, and maybe you haven't been logging in as much. We all are walking through the process together, every last one of us, and we are going to focus and be very serious about doing what seems impossible. Some things you think is going to take years to complete to do, and especially for those of you who have dreams and goals and things you're trying to get off the ground, you're going to see me challenging you like never before to begin to put the processes and things in place, change your mindset. Change your mindset. And of course, if it's in the will of God, let me make that clear, because you can't do anything outside of His will. Let me just be clear in that. But if it is in the will of God to have many of those things come to be, and it is my prayer, this is what I was praying about. This is not an easy thing to say. It's my prayer that each and every last one of you, at least I should say every single member who are a member of the Unlocking Greatness community, it is my prayer that you all see over these next 8 or so weeks. I want to give us maybe 2 months, but over the next 8 or so weeks, I want you all to start seeing some amazing results in your lives, whether it's personal development or even entrepreneur. Some of you, I just had an executive business consult, not even 40 minutes ago with someone, and she already is making some major changes to get her coaching program up to, I think she's going to be revising her book and having another edition of her book and getting all that going. And so even by next week, she's ready to start posting her content. Like, I just feel in my spirit right now that so many of us, because I read all of your comments, we think at times, now there are definitely times when God is hiding us and holding us back. And I've talked about that a lot. You all know that. There's sometimes God hides you and there's nothing you can do about it. Because those are the times you need to sharpen your tools and you need to get ready for this new territory He's taking you into. But I really do believe for some of you all, thank you, Alex. She says, thank you. You're serving God in such a beautiful way. Thank you, baby. Ruth Ann says, yes, it's not easy, but the journey is so worth it. Ruth Ann, I'm so glad you're in here because I know you already started on the Impossible Challenge. And I'm going to be holding you accountable too, Ruth Ann, to what you said. I'm not going to call you out on social media right now because other people are watching. But I saw that you went into the Hold Me Accountable section and you listed your goal. So I'm praying for you and we're going to be holding you to it. But anyway, what I wanted to get at is that I think that many times we think it's the enemy holding us back because we don't see things kind of come to light. But I honestly, now that I've had a chance to talk to so many thousands and thousands of people, you want to know what I see more than anything when I talk to people? I'm going to be very honest with you guys. This is a family talk at this point. You want to know what I see? We're not showing up. We're not showing up. Someone says, with a mentor like you, I'm being hidden right now in answered prayer. Thank you, baby. Thank you. We're not showing up. I'm just being very honest with you all. We're not showing up. The vast majority of the conversations that I've been having with people, the vast majority, and this is no joke, is trying to get you all to let go of what didn't work out, let go of what people think, let go of all the things that didn't work out in the past, trust God for it, start making some major decisions and sticking to it and moving on. The problem is, you know what, I'm not going to even give this answer away because I want to ask you all this. Everybody turn over to Genesis chapter 3 real quick. You guys give me a second, YouTube. I'm going to see, can I, without messing anything up, can I invite the community in on this link? So give me text community platform, and I want everybody to get this important message. So for those of you who are just joining, I'm going to recap what I said just a little bit, and I want you all to turn over to Genesis chapter 3. I want to know who can tell me this. Who can tell me in Genesis chapter 3 when the serpent started talking to Eve, and I'm just going to go over just a little bit. But when the serpent, you guys know my Bible, anyway, it's literally coming apart at this point. But when the serpent started talking to Eve in Genesis chapter 3, it says, now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die. Now listen to what the serpent said. You would not surely die. The serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now listen to verse 6. And I'm not even at the passage that I want to talk to you all about. It's a whole nother passage I'm turning to. But I just want to start with this one because I was talking to a staff member, and I brought this story up to her, and she's, oh my gosh, you got to go live and talk about that. But anyway, in verse 6 in Genesis chapter 3, for those who are just joining, I'm reading, or maybe it's Genesis chapter 2. Maybe I gave the wrong chapter. No, it's chapter 3. So the serpent tempted her to eat from this tree. And then in verse 6, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, and that's what I want to talk to you all about in just a minute, the importance of getting wisdom. She took some and ate it. And then it goes on to talk about she also gave some to her husband and he ate it. And you guys know pretty much the rest of that story. What I love is down in verse 11 when God says, who told you that you were naked? Because they didn't even know that they were naked until they'd eaten the fruit. I'm going to see who can answer this question. I'm going to see who really, really, really is going to have some discernment right now. What would you say is the one thing that Eve was focusing on? Now, I talked about this the other day if you were in one of my lives. What is the one thing that Eve was focusing on? So when the serpent came and tempted her, now I'm going somewhere with this. You know, I'm still talking about the impossible challenge and why I'm completely revamping the Unlocking Greatness community, the necessary retreat for personal development and entrepreneurship. And I'm still letting you all know that we just did a whole new relaunch, and we even put the introductory prices back on there so that you guys are completely without excuse at this point to get the help that you need. And that site is unlockinggreatness.com, by the way, for those who want to join today. You really have no excuse at this point. But before I go into talking about wisdom, which I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, I just read a passage in Genesis chapter 3. Now, if you catch this, this is really going to help you. What is the one thing that Eve was focusing on? Because the serpent came and told her, I want you to eat from this tree. And if you eat from this tree, you can become like God. In other words, God is lying to you, right? What do you think is the one thing that she was focusing on? I want to know who can give me the word I'm looking for. What is the one area that Eve was focusing on? And the reason this is important for those of you just joining, especially for those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Zenja Glass. Everyone calls me Z. Only by God's grace, only by his grace, I wrote a book called Necessary. If you don't have a copy of it, make sure you grab it. It takes you on a transformational journey. I'll get into that later. And God absolutely wrote this book through me. It's a powerful journey that many people in my mentorship program are starting to walk through. What is the one area that area of her life that she focused on that really messed her up? And this is really, really important because for some of you, because I get your messages, for some of you who've been getting discouraged lately, and I see it sometimes I see it in your face if I get a chance to meet you. I definitely see it from some of the messages you all are sending me, right? So when you're in that mode of being discouraged, and we already know the Bible teaches us, I believe it's John 10:10, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Baby, if you think that crafty enemy is not going to try to get involved and take you off track, you have a whole nother thing coming. A whole nother thing coming. When you're in those moments of discouragement and things are not going the way you want it to go, what's the one area? Let me ask the question a different way. What's the one thing the enemy wants you, even now? What's the thing the enemy wants you to focus on when you're discouraged or distracted or things are not quite going how you were praying or hoping for? What's that one area? Let me read some of this. Somebody said discontent. Someone says Eve focused on the fact that Adam left her to tend something. Someone says, oh, because the apple was pretty. Okay. Someone says wanting to have it all without knowing what God said. Someone said a quick fix. I like that, Alex. Someone says to doubt God. Someone said identity. Someone said trouble, marriage, self, everything and everyone else. Someone says greetings from Springfield, Massachusetts. Welcome, baby. Someone says power. Okay, that's a good one, Priscilla. America said control, health. What's the one area? Someone says my circumstances. Someone says we don't see what we don't see. What's the one area? I'm looking for this one word. Someone says being like God. Okay, I see the answers coming through now, at least the answers I was looking for. Okay, I see it now. Someone said, and Molly, I see you said it as well, baby. Someone says lack. Your queen even said lack. Who over here said something about lack? Someone in here said lack. Apple user. You don't have your exact name in there, but somebody said lack. Isn't that interesting? Think about that for just a moment. I know you guys probably got other things to do and you want to keep scrolling and watching some videos or whatever. But just gain some wisdom real quick. Just gain some wisdom for a moment. In a moment of not being sure, being uncertain, in any way being discouraged, being impatient, being whatever words you want to put on it, you notice how the enemy took her eyes off of everything that she had, everything that God had given her. All of the blessings that were around her. The enemy did not want her to focus on that. The enemy wanted her to focus on the one thing she didn't have. Now, if I don't say nothing else, and I got a couple other things to talk to you guys about and an important announcement I want to make, but if I don't say nothing else, that should help somebody for the rest of this day. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So if he can just get you to focus on what's lacking, and I know for many people it's finances. That's why, and let me deviate for a moment. With the relaunch of the Unlocking Greatness community, we are all focusing on doing the Impossible Challenge. One of the main areas we're focusing on, and God put this in my heart, and I'm so glad he finally gave me permission to do this. The next several weeks, probably at least 2 months, we're primarily focusing heavily on, at least for those in the entrepreneurship community, heavily on finances and heavily on getting your money right. You know, I'm hoping to see it. I'm praying that God makes this happen. I at least want to see half of the members in the community have consistent passive income coming in of some sort. And everybody get to figure out what they want to do, because many people are in for different things. Some people have books, or they're trying to launch a coaching, or they already have one, but it's not quite going how they want. We're going to do some deep dives like never seen before, because I'm now going to walk through it with you. So when we get together for our sessions, and this is an announcement for those of you who are already members of the Unlocking Greatness community, it's going to be changed up a little bit. You all know how I have you come up on the screen, and I have your social media channels come up and your businesses and all of that. We're going to be doing a whole lot more of that, but we're going to be walking through the whole process together as though it's day one and we just launched this product or service, or we just came up with the idea. That's a better way of putting it. So the things that I teach, quite a bit of of it in my executive coaching sessions, right? I'm going to be bringing that to the platform for those who are members of the Unlocking Greatness community. So that's my major announcement, is that we're starting everything over. Even with the retreat, for those who are in there for personal development, we are now going to walk through that 12-week journey together, right? So that we can all walk through it together as a community. So that means that I'm starting all over in it as well. Now let me get back to what I was just saying. When the enemy can get you to focus on lack, he takes that focus, you take your focus off of what you already have. Let me give you an example. I'm not going to rush this. If you guys got to go, just go. Because I'm about to turn over to Proverbs chapter 8. You guys can go to Proverbs 8 in a minute if you want. But let me give you an example. There are so many of you. I cannot explain how many messages I get, and especially for those who are members of my community, because I get to see you on our Zoom calls when we have our conversations. I could literally spend 1 minute talking to you, and you guys already know it because we've had many of those calls. I could spend literally a minute talking, and it's so amazing the anointing that's on you. It's just so... You should be having your podcast out. Your book should already be out there. Your program, whatever it is. I see it so quickly. And for those of you who are already members, you already know because I've said it. And I look and I think, why is it that God gives us all of these skills and talents, but the enemy does such a brilliant job trying to beat us down and scare us and keep us from getting out there and have us focus it on lack. So, for example, we focus on, I don't have the equipment. Really? Really? Or we focus on, I don't have the finances to really be able to, market this book the way I want to and get it out there. Really? So who told you need a whole lot of money to be able to market and get a book or something out there, right? So we focus on that lack area, and many times that's what keeps us from moving forward. Turn over to Proverbs 8. This is good. I read this morning. I said, God, thank you. I got to share this with your people. For those who don't know me, my name is Zenja Glass. Feel free to call me Z. I'm the author of Necessary, transformational book that's really helping a lot of people. And only by God's grace, this His doing, is not mine. Only by God's grace, I have a mentorship program called the Unlocking Greatness Community, and we offer personal development and entrepreneurship development training. And just today we did a whole full relaunch. We actually did it yesterday, a whole full relaunch. So the introductory prices are back on there. And we are focusing on doing the impossible. Doing the impossible. So these next 8 weeks, you're going to be challenged beyond what you're used to. And we're focusing on, God, if you say it can be done, I'm silly enough to believe you and believe that it can be done. So that's the whole premise of these next 8 weeks, is we want to focus on what is it that seems so impossible. But let's look at wisdom first. You guys turn over to Proverbs chapter 8. Let me read some of these comments right here. Working on the strategy to have a side income. Yes, for those of you who are members of the community, that's going to be, it's not the only focus, but for those who are in the entrepreneurship section, that's going to be the main focus of the live training seminars we're having, at least for the next 8 weeks. I want everyone to have some sort of passive stream of income coming in, and we'll talk about that more in detail. But my goal is, I would love to see everyone, at the very least, bringing in 4 figures a month. I would love to see everyone do 5 figures a month or more, but at the very least 4. So that's going to be the goal. The difference this time is that we're going to walk through it together now. So we all are like starting it over, because some of you have already launched your programs and it's not going quite like you want. So we're going to start it all over as a team, as a group, starting when we have our next session. And we're going to be in prayer. That's important. And we're going to walk through it together to try to figure out where are these gaps and these missing points in terms of why it's not happening. Okay? So I'm glad that you said that too, baby, because I know I don't normally talk about finances and making money or anything like that when I'm live. I talk a lot about God, prayer, the Bible, and I'm going to continue doing that, by the way. I'm never going to stop doing that. But I also know one of the things God's placed in my heart, all of me has got to show up. All of me. And that includes talking about finances and resources so that we can be a blessing to other people. Leave generational blessings for our family. Do even more for God. It's a whole nother subject. Okay, Proverbs chapter 8. Let me see. Are you guys hearing me here? Let me see. I'm sorry I didn't have the comments up here, baby. Let me scroll. I'm trying to get to you. God bless you, woman of God. May this same word edify your spirit. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, baby. It has been a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous battle to get to this point. You guys have no idea the amount of prayer and what goes into being able to even attempt to do what we are all about to do. As one person said, she says, my goodness, Z, I don't even know if people realize the magnitude of what's happening here. But anyway, for those of you who've been praying and you're ready to make a change, you're ready to grow, you're ready to launch that product, that service, whatever it is. However, let me say this, and you are ready to make sure that you're putting God first at every step in your life. I need to pause and say that before I read this passage. You cannot come to the Unlocking Greatness community and be a part of any of the mentoring service, whether it's personal entrepreneur, and not get some sort of a biblical foundation. So I know for some of you all, you're not into this. I get it. And I may not be the coach for you if that's the case, but I still love you, baby. But I can't do one without the other. And there's a gazillion coaches out there that'll gladly coach you without mentioning the word of God, but I'm not one of them. So if that doesn't bother you, you really have no excuse at this point. Because again, God moved powerfully in my heart, something I was absolutely not planning on doing. And God moved in my spirit. I have to put those introductory offers back up and allow those gates to stay open so that more people can come in. And that actually cost me money to do that, to be honest with you. But I have found it is better that I walk in wisdom and do what God tells me to do and not what I think I need to do for my own gain. So you're seeing me as a living witness walk in wisdom and walk in what God is telling me to do. So turn on, and my site is unlockinggreatness.com, by the way, for those of you who are looking to join. Proverbs chapter 8. Let's look at wisdom's call. So let's talk for a minute about why is it so important that we seek wisdom? Like, what's that's all about? So if you all were a part of my live yesterday, you will see that I talked quite a bit about the importance of why it's so important to seek out wisdom and how Jesus himself grew in wisdom and in stature. Now you can look up Luke chapter 2 verse 52. You can look that up on your own. I'm not going to read that again. And I talked about that yesterday, and I know I came at you guys a little hard yesterday, but the reason I did it the way I did it yesterday is because I know I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it again. 90% of everyone I speak to, and I would dare say those who, when they very first come into my program, especially the entrepreneur side, because everybody want to figure out a way to make some money, 90-something% of people are always focused on the end result, what's not working out and what they need. And everything they do is centered around that, right? Whether it's I just need some money, or I just need this, or I just need to get stable, I get it. I have bills too. I'm a mother of 4. Well, my kids are all adults now, but you get my point. I get that. I understand it's important. I don't know how I can convince you, because I still think at least 80% of you guys don't believe me when I say this. I don't know how I can convince you that wisdom is the core of this. When you focus on getting wisdom and growing in wisdom and stature, and you focus on who you're becoming and knowing who you are in the presence of God, I don't know how I can explain to you all that everything you're looking for at that level then begins to attract itself to you. I've said this so many times, and I think it goes in one ear and out the other ear. And I love you guys, but this is a family talk at this point. So for those who don't know me, I don't know what to tell you at this point, but for those who do, you guys know I love you. This is a family talk. But I don't know if you all really believe me when I say the core focus is wisdom and growing in that wisdom and stature. And watch how the people are going to be drawn and attracted to you, drawn and attracted to the God they see in you, drawn and attracted to that product, that service, that whatever you have. But what I notice is the focus is so heavily on, but they're not buying my program, or they're not buying my book, and I don't know what's going wrong, and maybe this ain't working for me. Maybe I need to get in another mentorship. Maybe I need to, and then sometimes when I go behind the scenes, yeah, I'm going there for a minute, because this is a family talk. And for some of you who are already members of my community, yes, I'm calling you out, but you know I love you. I go then behind the scenes and I say, well, wait a minute. I know the God that I serve. And I know the God that I serve, if I ask for bread, he won't give me a stone. If I ask for fish, he ain't going to give me a snake. I know they love God. They're praying and they're trying. Then I go behind the scenes and I'm like, let me see, are they walking through this necessary retreat? Now, some of you all have no idea what I'm talking about. Only by God's grace, I have a 12-week necessary retreat based on my book, Necessary, by the way. And it literally, there's like 130 some videos in there. It literally is walking you through chapter by chapter, literally not only going through it, and it's a video book, so I'm reading the book to you, the mindset exercises to go with it, the assignments to go with it. The first couple of weeks you're focusing on who am I before God, capturing in the spirit what's mine first. Then you're focusing the next 3 weeks on letting go of what no longer is needed for this next level. Next 3 weeks you're focusing on preparation. Last 3 weeks you're focusing on mastery. So I go behind the scenes and then I look at, well, let me see what's going on. Well, why this person's not having some results. Let me see how much of the retreat is this person going through. Now they don't know this because I'm not going to call them out by name. And guess what I find some of the times? Probably went into it one time, listened to half of one lesson or maybe two, and didn't even go back into it. And I'm saying to myself, God, this retreat itself, I was selling for $500, and I'm literally giving it as a part of this program because you told me to do it. And every advisor I had, even my own coach, was like, Z, you can't just give that away. People need to pay for that. They said, in fact, not only should it be $500, it should be $1,000. But see, this is why you got to know the God you serve and who you are. The God that I serve has placed it in my heart. I need you to lift these gates. I need you to trust me. There are people out there that can't afford all of this. I want them to have access to it as well. And I'm like, but God, I'm basically giving it away. And God's like, well, didn't I write it for you? So I lowered that down so that people can come in and get the same kind of value that people that pay $500 to get, and you're not even going through it. And yes, I am talking to some of you. I'm not calling nobody out specifically. And then you turn around a couple weeks later and then you're like, but this ain't working and I don't know why this ain't off the ground. And then you focus and you look at, baby, do you even know who you are? So what did you capture in the spirit first before you went, oh, I didn't really do that part yet. And it goes back to, I know I went left field. You guys just bear with me a moment because I wasn't even planning on saying this. I'm supposed to be reading Proverbs 8. But Proverbs 8 talks about what I'm about to say. It goes back to what I've told you guys a gazillion times. I heard one guy on my live, he said, you keep saying the same thing over and over. I end up blocking him. I don't even want him on my channel anymore, to be honest. But I thought to myself, he's right in what he said. You want to know why I keep saying that? I keep saying you got to capture in the spirit first what's yours before you get it in the hands because very few people do it. I said it. Jesus, please give me wisdom. I didn't come on this live just to simply let me find something else to do in the middle of my busy day to just talk to people. The pieces you guys get is you're just getting the overflow from what God reveals to me in the spirit. You're getting the overflow from me being up last night past midnight praying, me getting up at about 2:30, I think at 3 or something in the morning, praying, asking God to give me wisdom. How do I lift you and how do I help your people, God? Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it, no matter how silly it may look, even if it costs me all I have, whatever you want me to do. You're getting the overflow from this morning, me getting up and sitting and just reading my Bible and reading through Proverbs 8, what I'm about to read to you now. You're getting the overflow from God moving in my heart and telling me, I need you to trust me. I've asked you to lift these gates. You shut them back down, which I did. I've asked you to lift these gates. I have people out there that need this information, that need this so that they can get to the levels that I need them to get to. And so you're getting the overflow when you focus on, oh my God, how far do you want me to take this, God? I was only supposed to be live for a few minutes. Let me just read this passage in Proverbs 8. The little bit of this that's a little frustrating, and my goodness, I'm saying this with so much love. The little bit of this that's frustrating is that it's almost as if you know where a treasure chest is at. You've not only accessed it, it's there and it's available to just about anybody. It's a bad example, but it's just an example. And it's almost as if you're trying to direct people and tell people this is the way to get to it. People you love, by the way, because I love all of you guys. God knows I do. And it's almost as if you're seeing them running scattered and being kind of all over the place. And you're telling them, here's the tool you're going to need, right? Get in your Bible. Here's the tool you're going to need, increase your prayer life. Here's the tool you're going to need, Start going through the necessary retreat and take advantage of that program. And by the way, you don't need to go through the necessary retreat to achieve the things God's got for you in life. I want to make that clear. I'm just using that as an example. Here's the tools that you're going to need, right? And it's almost as if that person is not using any of those tools, trying to run to just the treasure chest and way off left field some way, and you're telling the person over and over and over again, but they're not listening. That's the kind of frustration that I feel sometimes, and I mean that with love, is that we've got to walk in wisdom. Seek wisdom. Let's read about this. Proverbs 8. I probably talk way too much at this point. Keep going, Ms. Z. I'm seeing Alice. I'm listening. I'm following God in your retreat day by day. I believe in this journey. I am showing up on my calling. Come on, Alex. That's what I love to hear, baby. That's what I love. Laureen says, I'm a part of the necessary book club myself. Me and a friend, amazing blessings. I love that, baby. Ruth Ann says, Necessary in Retreat is an awesome book with a built-in free study guide. It is well worth it. Thank you, guys. And Ruth Ann, I know you show up because every comment you put inside of the retreat, you don't even know, Ruth, I've saved some of your comments now, and I literally have tears in my eyes when I read your comments, because every daily inspiration, because people don't even know they get daily inspirations on all of that. Everything you comment on, Ruth Ann, I kid you not, I read it. I save a lot of your comments because you bring tears to my eyes. And I say, this is one of the members that I know God led me to be able to help and lower the price down to be able to get people in who are going to be grateful, who are going to take full advantage of this, and who are going to run with it. And Ruth Ann, you're making some amazing strides in your life. I'm so proud of you. And especially that new challenge we gave you, the impossible challenge that you're working on now. Okay, let me get to this. Proverbs chapter 8. And for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, again, my name is Zenja Glass. Everyone calls me Z. You all are more than welcome to join the Unlocking Greatness community. I have a mentorship program focusing on personal development and entrepreneur development. I just lifted the gates again and allowed the introductory prices to be back on there. So you literally have zero excuse if you want to get some help. You've been praying to God for help, and you've been looking for a mentor, coach, and a beautiful community to be a part of to get the help you need. And when I tell you that it costs me quite a bit to do that, but I'm walking and doing what God has told me to do. And again, that's at unlockinggreatness.com if you want to go there and sign up. And I'll be talking to you later or conversing with you later today in the community if you decide to do that. Okay, wisdom's call. This is wisdom calling out to you. So listen to what wisdom is saying. Let's start in verse 4. You guys go grab your Bibles real quick. And for those of you who are not into the Word of God, I don't know what to tell you. Just listen, and still maybe you'll get some wisdom from this. But turn over to Proverbs 8, verse 4. I'm going to read through the NIV, and we're going to stop and talk this through a little bit. To you, O men, I call out. I raise my voice to all mankind. You who are simple, gain prudence. You who are foolish, gain understanding. Listen, for I have worthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right. My mouth speaks what is true, for my lips detest wickedness. All the words of my mouth are just, none of them is crooked or perverse. Now I'm going to jump to verse 10. Listen to this. This is wisdom speaking. Wisdom. In fact, in the NIV, it's called wisdom's call. So this is wisdom speaking. Verse 10. Choose my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance. Did you guys just hear that? This is wisdom speaking. Wisdom is saying, I hate pride and arrogance. I really want to park there for a moment, but I think I'm going to keep going. But wisdom, anytime, the dangerous part about walking in pride is you don't know it. In many cases, unless someone points it out or it's too late. Wisdom says, I hate pride and arrogance. Evil behavior and perverse speech. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have understanding and power. Now listen to verse 15. By me, this is wisdom, kings reign, and rulers make laws that are just. By me, princes govern, and all nobles who rule on the earth. Now listen to verse 17. You guys should write this one down. I love those who love me. Again, this is wisdom talking. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. Okay, so what's the benefit of seeking wisdom? If what I'm doing is not working, you guys, here we are halfway through this year. Now I'm going to say something that's going to sting just a little bit. It's going to sting just a little bit. Sometimes we will invest in a heartbeat in going to a concert, buying a bag, some clothes or whatever. But when it comes to making any investment into our spiritual walk or into our personal development, entrepreneur development, anything dealing with our mindset, we tend to basically put it off. But listen to what the scriptures is teaching us. Even your prayer life, don't even have to be getting coaching. Anything searching out wisdom, we tend to put that off. Listen to this. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. Now listen to verse 18. For those of you who feel like it's wrong to be trying to grow in your wealth and pursue any type of wealth or riches. Listen to verse 18. With me are riches and honor. Did you guys catch that? With me, this is wisdom talking, are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. Now that's interesting. So wisdom is saying, if you have embraced me, are you guys picking this up? Wisdom is saying, with me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. My fruit is better than fine gold. What I yield surpasses choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice, bestowing wealth on those who love me and making their treasures full. Wow. Nobody ever showed me that scripture growing up, because I thought it was something wrong with having any kind of wealth. I thought that was being worldly. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just trying to give you guys something. Wisdom goes on to say, I was appointed from eternity, from the beginning, before the world began. Oh my goodness, this is just so good. Drop on down to verse 32. Listen to my instruction and be wise, and do not ignore it. Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my doors. When I read that, I just, in my living room, I can kind of look out of the windows and up into the sky. I have a lot of trees. And I just pictured wisdom standing there at the door. And I just says, oh my goodness, I never pictured such a beautiful scene. Because it says, blessed are those who keep my ways, listen to my instructions and be wise, do not ignore it. Blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. Now, unfortunately, this is how it ends in verse 36. But whoever fails to find me harms himself. All who hate me love death. You guys, if that's not a powerful passage about wisdom, I don't know what it. Somebody says, what passage is this? I just read Proverbs chapter 8, baby. Sorry about that if you're just now coming in. Proverbs chapter 8. Okay, let me hit you guys with this really quickly. I have 3 questions I want to ask you. Why do you think people start up things? I'm talking like a project, a goal, or something they have in mind. You know, I'm going to write a book. Or I'm going to start a coaching program. Or I'm going to get my podcast up. Or I'm going to start posting more. Or I'm going to really focus on praying for an hour a day. Or I'm going to, whatever it is. Why do you think people start things and then normally within a few weeks, it falls off? Why do you think that is so? Why do you think that is so? Why do you think that is so? That people start things up and then it begins to fall off? Someone said distraction. Someone asked me, when did you start believing in Jesus and why? That's a very loaded question for me, baby, but Jesus Christ has always been my Lord and Savior. I would never in my life apologize for that. And when I say Jesus Christ, Yeshua, my entire life. And I've been through hell and back many times, sometimes where I even doubted and wondered, was he there? Especially when my son died. Actually, I didn't doubt he was there. I take that back. I knew he was there. I just didn't want him to hold me in the moment because I was so hurt that he let him die. But then I began to let him embrace me and hold me anyway, and let him pull me out of those dark corners, which is how necessary was birth, by the way, to be able to help others never give up on him. So hopefully that answers your question, baby, when you said, why do I believe in him? But that's my personal choice. You get to believe and do whatever you want. Hey, love you anyway, but I can't apologize for my belief, and I never can. Okay, so my question is, why do you think people start and then they fall off? Someone says doubt. Someone says the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. For me, it's been life and circumstances. I'm so glad you said that, baby. Life and circumstances. because life has a funny way of getting you of stopping you in your tracks. Someone says lack of resources. Someone says not being convicted enough in the venture. And I'm glad that you said that, Eva, because inside of the Unlocking Greatness community, and I've said this many times before, every single time someone joins and go into the community and introduce themselves, which, by the way, for those of you who've joined today, make sure you introduce yourself in the community. I always tell them to start on that necessary retreat right away, because those first 3 weeks are all about figuring out who you are in God, who does He even say you are, and learning how to capture in the spirit what's yours before you get it in the physical. And so that's why I'm glad you said that, because even for myself, I don't get it right all the time, baby. Even for myself, when I take my little butt out there and I start doing some things that I've not captured in the spirit first, I don't know about you guys, but it never lasts. It never lasts. I'll have a little bit of activity and then it's just gone, right? Or maybe a couple things will go well, but it doesn't last, right? So that's why it's so important that whatever coaching, mentoring you decide to get, whether you like me or you want to go with somebody else, you do what you want, however you want to do it. Please make sure you at least get yourself into a good community, church, organization, something where you're at least going to learn the importance of knowing who you are in God, having scriptures to back that up, and learning how to capture in the spirit first so that you can have some convictions as you go out and get what it is that you're getting. Because when you know that is yours, baby, no devil in hell is going to be able to stop you. But when you're not sure that is yours, and here's the deal. I'm speaking to you all from conviction. I'm not preaching at you. I'm not looking down on anyone. I'm telling you from conviction. I want you guys to save time by learning from my mistakes. When you take your butt out there and you begin to work on and put all your time and effort working like you know what, right? Trying to get out there and make something happen that you've not gotten in the spirit first, and you're not walking in alignment in that partnership, which is why I have everybody that joins my program to go through my retreat, even entrepreneurs. And sometimes they're like, Z, I just want to get to the money part. You better get to the spirit part first, or you're going to be out there chasing seeds that don't belong to your butt and end up spending years going down the wrong way because you're trying to follow some method somebody don't told you to do when there's no anointing in your life even on that. Let me get back. Anyway, baby, that was a good comment you said. Someone said they don't believe in themselves. Alex says, for myself, I was seeking approval and wisdom from others. I put people as God and found myself stopping and believing the visions God gave me wasn't real. I stopped. And the enemy does a really good job with that, Alex. I'm glad that you said that. Somebody says unstable mind, not prioritizing a medium God can speak to you from. Okay, so let me go to the second part. So I want you all to think through, what is an impossible result? And I know I did this the other day, but I realize there's some new people on this live right now. What are some impossible results? Someone says, I wish we could merge personal development and entrepreneur into one. Baby, it is. So if you join the entrepreneur section, you actually now have both. That's what's so phenomenal about the program and this introductory offer. You actually get to have both. So if you only want personal development, you won't access the entrepreneur courses at all. But if you get into the entrepreneurship, you actually attend 4 of those live workshop training sessions. So every week you would be with me, basically. You're getting personal development and entrepreneurship. So it's actually combined as both. So I'm glad you asked that. But it actually is all together as one if you're in the entrepreneurship section. And because we just put those introductory prices in there now, either one should be able to work for most of you. But let me ask you all this question. So think of an impossible result. I want you all to think of, what is something you think would be impossible to achieve maybe in the next 30 days? Now, if you all were already on my live the other day, I still want you to answer this question. Now, somebody said, Sheila says, I'm 68. Is 68 too late? Sheila, first of all, if it's too late for you, then it's too late for me, because you and I both are in our 50s and 60s. I don't know what it is that you're trying to achieve or accomplish in life, but I'll tell you this. Most of the people I know that are in their 60s, I'm well into my 50s now, they say my life is just beginning. In fact, a very nice percentage of people in my program, probably I would guess at least 20%, give or take, if not 25%, are probably somewhere in that age category. So my response to you, Sheila, as long as there is breath in your lungs, it is not too late. So that's just my response to you. So what are some of the things that you all would think of, would say that, you know what, I would love to see this result happen, but This seems a little impossible, but this is something I would love to see happen. What is that result? What is something you all would love to see happen? What is something you would love to see happen? Somebody says, yes, the enemy tries to tell us it's too late. It's never too late. That's right. Sheila, somebody said I'm 74 and I'm here. Come on. That's what I love. That's what I love. Sorry, someone says, sorry, what program are you offering and how to get in? Just go to unlockinggreatness.com, baby. The link is in my bio. We just put the introductory offer back up there. The original offer is really almost 4 times more than that, to be honest with you, 3 to 4 times more. But we just put the introductory offer back so that more people can come in and get the help. So let's get the answer to this question is, what are some impossible results that you would love to see? Somebody says starting side hustle, earning 10,000, would love to see that happen. So be specific in that. Are you meaning 10,000 a month? So be specific in that. Because when I see people say that they want to earn like 10,000 or something like that a month, 50 things come in my mind, because I think that is extremely possible for a lot of people. But unfortunately, most people just don't know, okay, how do I set up my structure or my passive income or my reoccurring subscriptions or whatever it is so that that can happen. So be more specific in that. Someone says getting an acting audition after being out of it for 2 years. Ooh, I love that. I love that. What is another one? Can someone put something else in here? Someone says making true friends seem impossible. Baby, that's touching my heart. I pray to God that you do decide to get inside the Unlocking Greatness community and develop some deep friendships with people. But that touches my heart that that's what you're looking for, and I'll be lifting you in prayer. Someone says permanent work. Someone says writing my first children's book despite dealing with social anxiety. Oh my goodness, I would love to see that happen. Okay, so second question is, can you all just for a moment, I was going to go through an entire exercise, but I actually don't have time now because I've been live over 40 something minutes and I didn't think I would be live this long, or I wasn't sure if I would be live this long. Can you all just for one moment give yourself permission to go there just for a moment? Now you'll learn inside of the Necessary Retreat, I walk you through a finally exercise. I'm not going to walk through all of that now, but that's just a point where you sit on the other side of the mountain. You imagine what you've been hoping for and praying for all these years have actually happened. That's a whole mindset exercise you walk through. Again, I'm not going to walk through that whole process now, but just for a moment, just for 1 minute. Can you imagine whatever that goal, that dream, that vision is, can you imagine that it has happened? And explain to me, how would that change your life or your family life? Someone says, can you please let you know what Eva from the beginning, thank you. I actually talked about that, baby. The whole point in Eve was that she put her focus on lack. She put her focus on what she didn't have. And anytime we put our focus on lack, that was my whole point. Anytime we take our focus away from what we do have and we put our focus on lack, unfortunately, it leads down the wrong pathway. So I apologize if I didn't make that clear. So if you were to achieve this impossible result, how would that change your life? How would that change your family? How would that change, people generationally? What would that do? Someone says breaking through bad habits. Okay. And Alex says speaking to conference members on how powerful it is to show up as your best self in faith and style for the next 5 years. Alex, I can't wait to get a hold of you when we have our next live workshop. I don't know if you already have a site up or not, but if you don't, make sure you have your website ready so we can pull it up when we have our live event. But that speaks to me completely. You know, that's what I do. And I would love to see that happen for you, baby. So how would that impact? Someone said more people would become saved. I love that, baby. Someone says I would finally become a lender and not a borrower. Come on. Come on. So now let me do this. Let's jump one more. So I wasn't going to walk through this whole Get Unstuck challenge, which I've done with you all many times before. So let's do a real quick 2-minute version of this challenge instead of it being a whole 15, 16-minute version of it. Let's say someone just walked in the room. And this is some of the things you learn inside of the Necessary Retreat, inside of my mentorship. But let's say someone just walked in the room. And let's say someone just told you they were in your exact same situation. And they achieved the results that you've been praying about and you trying to get to. They actually did achieve it. And all you get to do is sit down and write exactly what they're telling you that they did. Now, I know I'm condensing this to just a 2-minute exercise because it normally is a 15, 16-minute exercise. If you go to my website at Unlocking Greatness, you'll see the Get Unstuck challenges on there. You can walk through that whole challenge by yourself. So I'm just giving you a 2-minute version. So close your eyes for a moment and picture someone is standing next to you. This person's very confident. This person has strong will. This person has already achieved what it is that you're trying to do and accomplish. This person is not going to listen to your excuses. This person is not going to listen to you say, I tried that and that didn't work. The only thing this person is saying to you is, I get it. I understand life's not been fair, and I understand you've been trying all these years. I understand you in your 60s. I'm in my 60s too, but I still achieved it and accomplished it, and this is what I did. Can you guys give yourself just a minute? And this is a mindset exercise I'm teaching you all for those who've never gone through it. Can you all just for a minute go into that space for just 1 minute and write down? Just silence yourself for a minute. Don't allow your old paradigms to try to start telling you what's not going to work. So you got to remove yourself literally out of the picture. And imagine this confident person is standing next to you and said, okay, so if this is the goal that you want to accomplish, this impossible goal, I'm telling you I already did it. Here's what I did. Can you guys just take a moment to write in the comment section, what is something this person is telling you that they did to make this happen? Do not put yourself in it. Imagine someone is standing next to you and this person is telling you, you can give me every excuse in the world and it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I've been in your situation. I accomplished it. Here's what I did. And I want you to just be silent. Silence your mind if you can. And just write down for a minute. What you can put in the comment section. What is this person telling you that they did? D says took action. Rosanna says publishing a calendar. What is this person telling you that they did? They decided to view their disability as a superpower. They walked by faith and trusted God. Okay, but what did they do? What did they do? Somebody says reprogramming my thinking. Someone says never give up. Okay, someone says overcame fear. Take it a step further than that. Don't keep it at just that level. What exactly did they do as to overcome fear? Again, I'm not trying to turn this into a whole mentorship session. I'm giving you a little bit of what to expect if you decide to join the Unlocking Greatness community and you decide to start walking through this retreat and go on this journey that we're focusing on these next 8 or so weeks. We're focusing on doing the impossible. Doing the impossible. So give me a little bit more. Spend some time in this. What exactly did that person do to overcome fear? Someone says broke generational curse. How so? How did that happen? How did that happen? What did this person do? They continued trying even after roadblocks. Alice said they got a mentor. I agree with that one wholeheartedly, baby. I have a mentor myself. I think people really, really, really undervalue getting a mentor or a good coach that can be there for you and help you in those mental roadblocks. So I'm glad you said that. But what else did this person do? Someone says kept the faith. Now, when I see words like that, kept the faith, remained faithful, how did that look? What did that person do as that person kept the faith? And the reason why you want to walk yourself through this exercise, someone said they stopped making excuses and started creating content. Elena, you better talk to me. You better talk to me. Someone says have faith and allow God to open doors. I stopped looking at what other people were saying and started looking at God to make it happen. I woke up every day expecting, started writing down where I wanted to go and using script. Baby, you already talking about some of the things you were learned inside of that my entire retreat. Because one of the things that I have them do is write out their whole finally statement and write out a whole affirmation. And every day, 3 times a day, you're going through that. So when before your foot even hit that floor, you already are that person. So I love that you said that. Someone says start making moves toward what you want, making contacts. What else did that person do? Someone says a new mindset. So you guys are getting the point. Enjoy the process and trust that God is in control. Stop trying to fix it and trust God's plan. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's the shortest version. I got to get off of this live, you guys, because I got to go get some lunch. That's the shortest version I can give you of that whole Get Unstuck exercise at unlockinggreatness.com. Even if you decide for whatever reason, I don't want to get mentorship and coaching, and that's great. You've got this new impossible challenge that you're launching and everybody's going to be involved, but I don't want it. At the very least, go there and take that Get Unstuck challenge so you can go through the full challenge that I just tried to give you, because that challenge is so powerful because it gives you almost like a blueprint Really? It's really nothing more than the Holy Spirit speaking to you, to be honest. But I don't want to spoil and give away the end result. But it really gives you the ability to see outside of what you think needs to be done. I've heard some people say, man, that person got started today. She said, see, I'm actually getting ready to go live right now on social media, because that's what that person would be doing. So it gets you out of your box, out of your trap mindset, and takes you to another level. Anyway, let me get off of this. What was I talking about here? So let me wrap this up by saying, 2 days ago, I went live and I talked about 2 Kings chapter 7. And you all can write that down, 2 Kings 7. I'm not going to turn to it and read it because that'll be another 15 minutes. And that's a beautiful story about how that siege was lifted. It was a really, really bad famine happening, right? And Elijah, they were really coming to take Elijah away at that point, because they're like, you ain't going, we don't even want you here no more. And Elijah told the king, by this time tomorrow, everything's going to change. And there was an officer who said, and I'm paraphrasing, is it even possible that God can change things in one day? Right? I'm totally paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what the soldier said. And Elijah looked at him, and again, I'm paraphrasing, and said to him, not only is it possible, but you're not going to be able to see or eat any of it. So in other words, because you don't believe God is that big to show up and do what he said he's going to do, you're not going to even get nothing even from it. And if you go ahead and read that story, you'll see that officer was trampled on at the gates, and it kind of ends in a bad way for him. But the premise of me bringing that whole passage up is, we got to believe and walk in faith and know that God is able to do the impossible in our lives, even when it doesn't look like it. And you guys, I know that there's times you get tired. And I know some of you are praying like you wouldn't believe. You're calling out to God day and night, asking for wisdom and guidance. And some of you still don't have the answers you're looking for. I'm so grateful that God is slowing me down a little bit, because I have 1,000,001 other things going on. I run different businesses and does things. He's slowing me down, and he's showing me, whoa. We're going to slow this down. We're going to reboot this entire retreat, and we're going to walk through it all together. So I'm letting you all know, for those who are bold enough and want to go down what we're calling the impossible challenge, and you really want to focus over these next 8 to 12 weeks on doing something that it seems so impossible, it almost makes you laugh, because it's like, girl, I don't know how this is going to happen. And by the way, I don't guarantee no results. It's not me that would be doing it. It would be you. It's between you and God and the actions you take. But for those who are bold enough and they say, I want to walk down this journey, I am challenging you and welcoming you to join the Unlocking Greatness community. We're having a whole new fresh start. For all the members who are already on the community, there's nothing different you all need to do. Just know that we're doing a whole reboot, and we all are now going to walk through it together. So for personal development, we're going to walk through the retreat together, which I think you guys are really going to like, because everybody's at different stages, but we're going to walk through it together. And for those who are in the entrepreneur section, you're going to really love it, because we're going to walk through whatever plan it is you're creating. We're all going to walk through it together. And the end goal that I'm praying for with the entrepreneurs is at least half of the members, at least half, have their passive income and products and services launched, or at least about to launch, I should say, so that you have reoccurring and consistent revenues coming in. And I'm looking forward to seeing what God's going to do. My website is unlockinggreatness.com for those of you who are interested. I just introduced the introductory prices again, which I did not think that would be happening, but I did. God placed it on my heart to do it, and I did it. So you literally are without excuse at this point. But I love you all. You're welcome to join. Someone is saying 2 Kings 7. Yes, that's the book. Someone says, please pray for my sister. She's in depression. I will lift her in prayer, baby. I'm sorry to hear that. D says, follow the Holy Spirit and do exactly what he says without any excuse. Come on, D. That's exactly what I'm doing my best to do right now, D. Some things don't make sense that God places in my heart to do, and I may look foolish to some people, but I always have to do what God tells me to do. So thank you for saying that. I love you all. I pray you guys have been encouraged. Someone says, how can we upgrade our membership? All you need, and you know what? That's a good question. Now is a good time to do that, especially now that we're back to the introductory. All you need to do is just go to the Contact Us page and just send a message. So my customer care team can walk you through how to upgrade, but they'll show you how to do that. Someone says, pray for my boys. Pray for me. I need a child of my own. I'll be lifting you all in prayer. I love you all. I love you all. I pray this has been helpful. So again, the Impossible Challenge is now full-fledged. Today is the official launch date for it. And for those of you who are a part of this, now this is scary for me too, because I have some impossible things that I'm placing before God that I want to see happen as well. So please don't think I'm just coming in here just to teach it. We actually are all walking through this together, and we're going to hold each other accountable. So I love you all. I pray you've been encouraged. For those who are just joining, this should be saved on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. What else was I going to say? It should be saved on there. This new reboot officially begins today. So in our next workshop meetings, for those of you who are already members, just know that we're starting all over. So for example, we're going to all be talking about the first week of the retreat. And for those in entrepreneurship, we're going to be talking about what is your core product or offer or service, right, that you are planning on launching or improving. So we're starting from day one as if we all were in it together. So just so you all know, for those of you who are already members, there's nothing new you're going to need to do other than we're going to all start it and walk through it together. And I think that's going to help a lot of people, because some people don't know how to do some of the basic things. And because we're going to be doing it together, it's going to be a lot easier. Anyway, I love you all. I love you all. I pray you've been encouraged. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Bye-bye.